Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. Now, don't focus on how I sound so much. If you have to, use the subtitles, annotations, captions, whatever. But don't focus on the way I sound, because in a lot of these videos they try to make it so I sound strange, and I can't stress that enough. They try to make it so I sound scared or shady. They want you to doubt what I'm saying, but you're not supposed to doubt what I'm saying, because it's the simple truth. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and they do a lot to kind of cause me mental hardship in regards to remembering my train of thought. This is one of the main focuses that they put on this series, and that is a huge part of the story. Even when telling the story itself, they're trying to get people to doubt me. And they often said that they don't want people to look up to me. Now, they use a lot of wordplay to try to drive me crazy, try to create the situation where my thoughts are disorganized, create scatterbrain, what have you. But let's think about this here. And I pointed out many times to them, and they just, they don't get the message. There's a bunch of kind of fanatic cult LGBT people, whites, Jews, token minorities, who aren't reasonable. They don't believe that they should stop. They must know that their tradition doesn't add up. Okay, that nobody who's a righteous person is gonna, sing them praises, and no one who's a righteous person is gonna help make it so that people, look up to them. That's crazy, right? You're not gonna big up, as they say, the pedophiles, the false idols, the politicians, the church leaders, you name it. You're not gonna do that, right? Christ is a character in the story. Didn't do that. Didn't do it with the Pharisees. He didn't hesitate to chastise Peter. Okay, John the Baptist didn't do that. Stephen the Martyr didn't do that. And those are three solid points of references in their book. It makes it clear that that's not the way to go. So let's look at this real quickly here. How many of you think people actually look up to Donald Trump? Okay, it's really semantics, right? If you're a liberal, you'll be like, no way. They're just feeling like, hey, Trump is more conservative than the Democratic Party, and he's popular, and they're just jumping on the bandwagon. They couldn't possibly actually look up to him, right? I mean, all he is a rich guy who runs his mouth. He has no higher cause. He's all politics and corruption, right? No offense to anybody. So they're not looking up to him. Name one thing that, you can look up to in regards to Joe Biden. Okay? There's no solid economic plan presented. None. Right? The infrastructure plan was not a plan for an economic recovery. They don't even present a logical plan to help the people in this country where it's needed most, right? The disabled, the children who are abused, the children who are hungry, right? The people who are being abused every day, with tactics that make it seem like there's a trauma-based mind control operation going on. And why? Because there is. That's the truth of the matter. They've been building on generations of psychological techniques for social, political, sexual, economic control, what have you. So when we look at this argument and say they don't want people to look up to you, what the heck are you talking about? Celebrities are like the grains of sand on the beach. There's so many of them, right? They say, this person, who's that person? Oh, he was in that one show and da-da-da, and somewhere, somehow, there's somebody that knows him. Like, nobody knows who they all are. And the famous ones, if you're from my generation, you might say Brad Pitt, right? You might say The Rock, okay? People don't actually look up to these people, right? They don't actually look up to Hulk Hogan. They don't actually look up to these people. Joe Rogan, Dana White, like whoever, businessmen, boxers, they don't actually look up to Mike Tyson. They say, wow, he's an awesome boxer. Some people believe that he's the best boxer that ever lived, but they don't actually respect this person as a solid role model. They don't respect this person's mind and his lifestyle and his path. So it is astounding when you consider two very obvious facts. One, that people don't look up to anyone else in the truest sense of the term, and how they feel about them is hardly worth, going after. And two, unless it's a little kid and their parent, mind you. And two, it is impossible to get the top martial artist to sing you praises and to praise the wicked. It's not going to happen. And a little kid should have been able to tell them that that wasn't going to happen. So when they're running this psychological operation on me my whole life, and that causes the conflicts in the streets, it causes the conflicts in the schools, it causes the conflicts in various places. When there's a bunch of Jews who are acting bad and military guys, they're like, oh, you better not say that. Oh, yeah? And they say things that provoke me. And I say, no, you better not say it, right? I'm not going to listen to you. People have been trying this for years, and I haven't budged in the slightest. And it's under the pretense that they don't want people to look up to me. People didn't look up to Ron Jeremy. They don't look up to the popes. Okay, they know it's simple white social norms that elevate these people. They know they're dealing with token minorities. They know they're dealing with propaganda. They know the system's corrupt. They know people practice nepotism and favoritism. Okay? And family kind of worship, right? Say, look at this guy. He's the Prince of Wales. He's this and that. He's his third cousin, and people don't respect that. That is the worst case of kind of nepotism and favoritism that you can think of. It's like a point of reference for that. When we look at the English royal family, for example, no offense to anybody, what do? The countless people, when Queen Elizabeth, countless people were kind of celebrating when she died. They were saying there's no reason to mourn, right? And you think, hey, if these people are really looked up to across the board or something, there wouldn't be people disrespecting her on the day of her funeral as far as the eye can see. Okay? It's not about how I feel about her. It's about what we saw in society in this particular video, right? And what we see is they didn't respect her. And they didn't respect her family enough not to disrespect her during that time period. So who the heck are they looking up to? Who, Elon Musk? Jeff Bezos? Who? Bill Gates? They're not looking up to anybody anyway. And who people are more likely to look up to doesn't determine who the celebrity is, who gets all the money. That doesn't determine it. It's not translating into that. I go as far as to say I'm the only person, my father and I, who's truly looked up to by adults in this nation, okay? And it's only people who are aware. Everyone else is kind of like, Hulk Hogan worship, right? They may as well be a cartoon character, or they may as well be SpongeBob worship, right? Because they don't look up to him. And I'm sure that if you're listening to this, you know that I'm right, and you're frustrated. Maybe you have some kind of racial complex or cultural complex, and you're somewhat in denial. But you must at least 90% to 100% know that I'm right about this. You must at least 90% know. They don't look up to other people. Who is it? Who, Snoop Dogg? Gavin Newsom? Who would it be? So I think that the people who are in the governing class who are insisting on this and that it continues, they need to get their heads out of their asses. And we look at the continuity. These people keep try to leverage their privilege and ill-gotten gains. Doesn't work. Keep saying, look at me, look at these cameras, look at my soap opera, look at my TV show, look at my interview. And it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And they look like clowns. The emperor has no clothes on. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty straightforward that on that topic, which is a key part of my story, that's why I bothered to put it in my story instead of a bunch of stories that are almost redundant, right? This time, we decided to confront these guys over street injustice or this, and this. A lot of this stuff's redundant. Some of this stuff people don't want me to talk about, for better reasons than others, when it comes to my story, they gave me a hard time in life. And they're like notches under my belt, right? It's like better than a Navy SEALs obstacle course or something, right? I achieved, as I say in my videos, I have achieved. I more than just believed. I earned the right in every sense of the phrase to be the top martial artist ever in reality. I am that I am. Okay, and it's a damn shame in this society, on this planet where so many people are suffering when they make it one of their highest priorities. You wouldn't imagine how many people they've used to come in and make the declaration that they reject my lead by gang stalking me. They make it one of the highest priorities to suppress the awareness of my existence and presence. Why people are wondering if Jesus Christ is real? Here I am.